how are you? Nice to see you.
We are going to begin the program in about 5 minutes. If you find your seat, we've got about 5 minutes. On your name tag, you have your choice of meal. Make sure that's out on the table so the server knows what to serve you. Beef, chicken, etc. So make sure your ticket for your meal is out on the table so your server knows what to serve you. We'll get underway in about 5 minutes. Good evening. Could you please find your seats so we'll get the first part of the program underway, then you can visit again during dinner. Good evening. Welcome to the 2024 Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame Induction Banquet. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the invocation by Terry Bonner, Executive Pastor at the Pursuit Northwest.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we gather today to honor those who have excelled in the realm of sports. We thank you for the gifts and talents that you have bestowed upon these individuals, enabling them to achieve extraordinary feats. May this evening be a celebration of their dedication, their perseverance, and the joy that they have brought to countless fans. We pray that their achievements will inspire future generations to strive for excellence in their own pursuits. Bless the inductees, their families, and the coaches and mentors who have guided them along the way. May their legacy be a testament to the power of hard work, sportsmanship, and the human spirit. We ask all of this in your name. Amen.
The national anthem, Frank, will be sung by Fernanda Lopez Villegas from Archbishop Murphy High School.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I think that's rain on the roof. You could be outside. Please enjoy your dinner. We'll begin the program in about 30 minutes. Thank you. A reminder that the silent auction is still open. You can go online and bid. You don't even have to leave your chair. Go to the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame website. You can bid on the silent auction items until 7 o'clock. Just about everybody has been served, and we're going to get underway with the program. For the welcome and introductions, here are Rich Haldy and Greg Riley from the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame Committee.
Oh, good evening. Thanks so much for coming. These banquets are really great nights, and I have the privilege and honor of introducing the new chair of the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame, and that is Greg Riley. Now, Greg is an Everett High graduate. He's a Pacific Lutheran University graduate, and he's a Florida State University graduate student who earned his master's degree in athletic administration. So that is all very good, and he's then, not too long after he graduated from Florida State, he embarked on a private tennis club business, the tennis industry, and he took over a very struggling private tennis club, and he took that club and turned it into one of the top 17 out of 6,000 in the United States National Tennis Association. Now, Greg was at Everett High. He was a two-sport athlete, basketball and baseball. So he knows about athletics. He was an all-state baseball player. And he played for Coach Lou Stevenson, who has been inducted into this Hall of Fame. And Greg went on and played college baseball. And then during the summers, he would play for another inductee into the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame, and that's Harold Pyatt, who was the Everett Merchants semi-professional baseball team. Now, Greg has done more than just athletics and being a student. He's also been involved in many community service activities. And one of them is that for, I think it's 10 years, that he was on the board for the Everett Museum of History, and during the last 8 years he was on that board, he was the president. So today, and for the last 25 years, he has been a residential mortgage broker, very successful businessman. So all that takes us to now he's chair, a volunteer chair of the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame, only the second chair, and you're going to hear about the first chair tonight also. But so he's going to take his life experiences, his educational background, his athletic background, his business acumen, and his community service, and you can be assured that he's going to take this Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame and keep moving it forward like the first chair did. So I'd like to introduce you tonight to the new chair of the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame, Greg Riley.
Thank you, Rich. Welcome, everybody. We're going to have a great night tonight celebrating exceptional achievement in athletics and sport. I must say it's truly an honor and a privilege to be named the new chairperson. I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve our community in this role. As Rich just pointed out, I am only the second chair of this Hall of Fame. The first chair of 15 plus years of service is Frank Foster. Frank is attending tonight, and I want to thank you, Frank, personally, for being such a great role model. You are the guy. Frank, as a committee, we are committed to work very hard to carry on with and advance upon your vision and mission. Tonight, I'd like to share with you all our mission statement, which reads up on the big screen. You can take a look at that. The Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame recognizes people who have made outstanding contributions to their sport or vocation, both locally and internationally. The Hall of Fame's mission is to honor individuals who brought acclaim to themselves in Snohomish County. That said, a mission statement is important, but written words alone, without action backing it all up, just doesn't get things done. So that said, from my perspective, as a committee, we strive to bring the mission statement to life, to make it happen, if you will, by the committee executing the following important tasks. We identify high performer individuals and teams. We investigate, study, and review a wide variety of backgrounds, statistics, and memorable stories. And for a very select few of those individuals and teams identified in the process and who received the needed committee vote count, we induct them into the Hall of Fame as we are doing tonight. And ultimately, here at the Angel of the Winds, we preserve, display, and continue to celebrate the history, the memorabilia, and legacy for the inductees, their friends, families, and the citizens of Snohomish County. This is all a detailed, thorough, and lengthy process, and I'd like to recognize the committee members that diligently work year-around to make this all happen. So I'll call out some names, and I wish you would all stand up and acknowledge yourself. Nathan Cafaro. Sherry Chambers Wilson. Mike Clemens cannot be here with us tonight. Joe Coverson. Tammy Dunn. Eddie Fernandez. Lori Franklin. Rich Haldy. Roberta Hasted. Steve Jensen. Rachel Lane. Landon Olson. Steve Miller. John Nearing. Susie Robinson. Jane Smoke. Joel Taylor. And Larry Walker. A special thank you to Tammy Dunn. I've taken over as a new chair. And sometimes you have to get even further involved to really appreciate people. Tammy Dunn is outstanding. Tammy is Executive Director for the Snohomish County Sports Commission, and she also has 3 outstanding assistants that I also have to call out: Nathan Cafaro, Rachel Lane, and Landon Olson. Nathan, Rachel, and Landon are relatively young. They're her staff members. And this could not be without those people, those 4 people. They are absolutely outstanding. And then Nathan, Rachel, and Landon, they're all from this area. They're all college graduates. Their degrees apply beautifully to what we're doing. And to me, they're kind of future superstars. That's how I view it. I'd like to recognize and thank our past inductees. We're honored to have some past inductees with us tonight. Herb Atkins, 2012 class. Sherry Chambers Wilson again, 2020. Jack DeCover, 2015. And Lori DeCover, 2015. Rich Haldy, 2023. Our own Tom Lafferty, 2020. Mark Miller, 2012. Steve Miller, 2017. Steve Murphy, 2012. Jim Olam, 2023. James Pearson, 2017. And Lou Stevenson, 2017. I'd also like to acknowledge our banquet table sponsors, the Haldy family, the Parker family, the Moon family, Edmonds Community College, Everett Community College, there you go, IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, Larry Christensen, the Washington Rush, Whitney Rayanne Sullivan family. A big thank you to our business sponsors, our level 3 sponsors, American Distributing, LLC. Everett's Greatest Hits, KRKL 1380 and 95.3. Level 2 sponsors, IRG Physical and Handy Therapy. Robert J. Lee and Stephen J. Lee. Northwest Physical Therapy. The Hoban Family Office. OVG 360. Level 1 sponsors, Coastal Community Bank. Everett Downtown Storage. Play It On Sports. Sultan High School Turk Pride TV. Edward D. Hansen Conference Center. Then I'd also like to thank the Snohomish County Sports Commission Board of Directors, Jennifer Cavaney and Jennifer Wright. Also, I'd like to acknowledge Marysville Mayor John Nearing, who is also on our committee. John? At this time, I'm turning it back over to the Master of Ceremony, Tom Lafferty.
So with no further ado, let's get the program underway. It's time to meet the KRKO Russell and Hill High School Female and Male Athletes of the Year, as they very slowly make their way around the east end of the building. Here to make that presentation is Steve Willits, my co-host on KRKO's Prep Sports Weekly program, along with Matt Russell of the Law Office of Russell and Hill.
Thank you, Tom. Good evening, everyone. And what an honor it is for us to take part in this. We've been, I think, here since 2017 now, and it never gets old. For any of us who have ever grown up in Snohomish County playing sports, going to sporting events, we know how special it is to be part of the sports community here. And to select one male and one female athlete each and every year to honor them as the Athlete of the Year. It's always a senior, high school senior, so the class of 2024. Thousands of athletes in this region, in this county, and so many are deserving of this award, but really we've got two special ones this year. Two athletes that not only won multiple state championships in their sports, but they also got it done in the classroom. 3.63 GPAs each, I believe. That's kind of a rarity. They have the same GPA. and just great student athletes who really are outstanding citizens, which is probably even the most important thing, right? So at this time, without further ado, let's go ahead and name the 2024 Russell and Hill KRKO Male and Female Student Athletes of the Year, beginning with the Female Student Athlete of the Year. Back-to-back state championships in softball, and she was dominant. This young lady on the mound, check out these numbers here. 167 innings pitched. I think she pitched just about every inning for the team last year. 273 strikeouts. She only walked 23 players. 0.54 ERA. Multiple complete games, not only complete games, no-hitters, perfect games. She had a perfect game in the district championship, and then she just kind of steamrolled everybody in the state tournament. Was outstanding for multiple years. 2 consecutive years, she was the player of the year in the state, and that was, I think, named by 3 different publications that named her that, the main 3 that do that for softball. And by the way, also played volleyball, where she was second team All-Wesco. And I know, Tom Lafferty, you're going to want me to mention this. A tenor saxophone player in the Jackson Wind Ensemble. So she did a little bit of everything, and she's just an amazing kid. Got to know her a little bit over the last few years, and could not be more humbled and honored to be able to present her with this award. This year's Russell and Hill KRKO 2024 Female Student Athlete of the Year, Yanina Sherwood from Jackson High School. Yanina is currently attending the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV, the Running Rebels, right? And thank you. And accepting this award on her behalf, her parents, Jack and Angelica. So thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for sharing her with us in this community. I want to get a photo real quick here before we let you go. And who knows, one of these days, maybe in the next few years, she might be another part of this program only later on in the show tonight. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you, Angelica and Jack. Appreciate it. Yanina Sherwood. And we'll have you guys stay here for a moment. If we, let's not let you get away too far here for just a second here. Our male athlete of the year, another state champion. Only this time we have somebody who did it in not 1 but 2 sports. Played for the Lake Stevens football team. They had a pretty good run the last few years, right? Tom Try, you guys have done okay. This young man has played in 3 consecutive state championship games, correct? Was a starter on a team as a sophomore that lost the state championship game, and then he came back and won it his junior and senior years. And what a senior year he had, by the way. All area offense and defense, and I believe he was one of 2 players this year that won that award. One of them was Mason Lynch, I think, right, his teammate. But this young man here, all area, which means not only are you all league, but you're on the all area team for the entire Snohomish County region. 50 catches, 817 yards receiving, 18 touchdowns. Not too shabby. He could win this award on offense alone, but you know what? He played defense too. 7 interceptions, 63 tackles, was a vital part of that team there. And just for good measure to make sure he really got the award, he went out and won a state championship in track and field. He won the 110-meter hurdles with a time of 14.34 seconds. Not too bad. His team took second in state this year. The year before his junior year, he won a state championship as a member of the 4x400-meter hurdle team. And the year before that, as a sophomore, he helped Lake Stevens win the boys' state championship. So he's got a few pieces of hardware to go into the trophy cases, and we're going to add one more for him tonight. And again, tremendous kid. He's going to be playing 2 sports at Central Washington University. So he's really busy and active right now. So definitely not here tonight, but his parents are. The 2024 Russell and Hill KRKO Male Student Athlete of the Year, David Boogie Brown from Lake Stevens High School. Accepting the award for Boogie tonight, we have Dave and Lacey Brown, David's mom and dad. And before we let everybody get away, I did want to turn the microphone over to Matt Russ. By the way, before I gotta talk you up here just for 1 second. Russell and Hill has been a part of our this award since we started it in 2017. Great partnership to have along the way. You might recognize this face because He's done commercials in the area for Russell and Hill. He's on billboards around here. Tremendous lawyer, but we've gotten to know you a little more personally as not only a lawyer, but also a parent of a Wesco athlete or athletes, as well as your partner, Jim Hill. So I know high school sports have been important to you guys, and it's not just something you guys are doing because it's good business. It's something that you're very passionate about, and we so appreciate you continuing this partnership with us. So I just want to say thank you from everybody at KRKO for continuing this support with this award. So if you would please, give a round of applause to Matt Russell.
Thank you, Steve. You know, I just want to say that Russell and Hill is so proud to honor these student athletes. And, you know, not only are we supporting their future, but we're supporting the community, this community, because these student athletes exemplify the values of leadership and teamwork and dedication, both in the arena and in the classroom, and we believe that nourishing that talent and their success enriches us all. So just want to say thank you. I think it's so cool to see the student athlete talent that continues to pour out of this county. It's just wonderful. And so lastly, I just want to say, because I think they had a little something to do with it, a round of applause to the parents of these kids.
We've met the High School Athletes of the Year. Now let's meet the Snohomish County Collegiate Female and Male Athletes of the Year. First up here is Jen Rhodes, Dean of Student Engagement and Women's Commissioner at Everett Community College, to make the first presentation.
Good evening. The past 2 years, I have had the absolute honor and privilege to serve as Dena's track coach. I didn't know I was going to be speaking tonight until our athletic director informed me, and he decided to write me a speech. Thank you, Garrett. Dena Gibb excelled on the volleyball court as a defensive specialist and was third on the team in service aces. But she found another calling, and in my heart it's her true calling, in track and field when in 2023 she threw the javelin an impressive 123 feet 4 inches at the NWAC Championships after only having thrown the javelin in 2 previous meets. She PR'd by over 7 feet, which helped her to place 4th overall, the top freshman at the event. And she had entered the meet with the 8th best mark. That's pretty hard to do. In 2024, Dena set a new PR at our second meet by throwing 132 feet 11 inches at the Pacific Open, placing 2nd overall at the meet and moving herself up to 2nd all-time at Everett Community College. She was the NWAC Athlete of the Week in the opening week of the track season, but her best performance of the year came at the 2024 NWAC Championships. Dena set the tone with her first throw, taking the lead over the entire field by 6 feet. She had the event won after her 4th mark, but on her final throw, Dena reached 137 feet 3 inches, a PR by over 4 feet, and less than an inch from breaking the all-time Everett Community College school record. She is a Theta Chi Alpha member and is a 5-time academic honor roll student, with 3 quarters on the Dean's List and 2 quarters on the President's List with a 4.0 GPA. With these accomplishments, Dena was named the Everett Community College Female Track and Field Athlete of the Year, as well as the Everett Community College Female Athlete of the Year. She graduated this, summer, spring? Sick. She graduated this spring with high distinction from Everett Community College and is currently attending the University of Saskatchewan, majoring in biomedical science and continuing to train in the javelin with the goal of competing for Canada's national team. I would also like to say that in a meet a couple weeks after the NWAC Championships, she PR'd by another couple feet, towards the end of the season, I would have liked to see it at NWACS, but oh well, we can't all be perfect. As wonderful as this speech was, it really only encapsulates her incredible achievements. It does nothing to really speak to who she is as a person. Dana is one of the most kind and inspirational people that I have ever had the privilege of working with. And I'm very, very excited to see where she continues going forward. Her accomplishments on the field and off the field are going to be hailed for years to come. And for the rest of my athletes that I have, for the rest of my career, whenever they ask me, hey, Coach Ben, how do I get better? How can I move forward as an athlete? I get to respond to them with, let me tell you a little story about a woman named Dana Kidd. Come on up, kid.
Wow, that's a pretty hard act to follow. Standing here tonight is truly a surreal moment for me. I'm incredibly honored and grateful to be recognized tonight. Being a Canadian student athlete competing in the U.S. has been an extraordinary experience for me, one filled with growth, challenges, and memorable moments. To be recognized for my efforts, both volleyball and track and field, especially as a javelin thrower, is something I never imagined. I'm so proud to represent both Canada and this amazing community. First and foremost, I do want to thank my family because they've done everything for me. Moving away from my small town in Alberta of like a population of 300 people, can't get any smaller than that. But having you behind me every step of the way has made all the difference. Your encouragement, sacrifices, and belief in me have been the foundation of my success. But ultimately, it was your love and support that kept me grounded and motivated. To my coaches, teammates, and everyone at Everett Community College, thank you for pushing me beyond my potential. Your guidance and mentorship have been invaluable to me. I've learned so much from you, not just about sports, but about perseverance and the value of hard work. I would also like to say a huge thank you to this committee for the recognition. I'm deeply grateful for your support and for celebrating not just my achievements, but the dedication of all athletes who work tirelessly every day. As I embark on my journey at the University of Saskatchewan, I'm excited to begin this new chapter while continuing to pursue my goals and dreams, hopefully the Canada national team. Thank you once again for this tremendous honor.
While they're doing that, now it's Brooks Roy, head baseball coach at Edmonds College, presenter of the Collegiate Male Athlete of the Year.
First off, my name is Brooks Roy. I'm the head baseball coach at Edmonds College. I'm joined by Paul and Amy Egger, Sheldon's parents. First off, I just want to thank you guys for raising such a good kid. It was an absolute pleasure to watch Sheldon grow and to have him be a part of our program. So thank you guys. Second thing, I'd like to thank our athletic department at Edmonds College. We would not be as successful as a program without you guys, so thank you, Spencer, Ray, all your hard work. I appreciate it. Sheldon came in as a freshman, was a 6'4" lefty. He weighed about 160 pounds soaking wet. The time I got to watch him pitch, there's just something special about him. He Didn't throw the hardest, but he didn't need to. He found a way to get outs, and he was an ultimate competitor. So I gave him an opportunity to play for Edmonds, and he accepted it, and he flourished in his role. He came in as a freshman at 160 pounds. When it was all said and done, he weighed 205 pounds. The definition of a hard worker and the definition of a JUCO baseball player. Most of the guys that come to us either need to get bigger and stronger or need to learn more about the game. Sheldon embraced that. He lived in the weight room. He worked his butt off and was able to earn himself a Division I scholarship at Woolford College in South Carolina. Sheldon had a 1 ERA about 80% of the season. He was absolutely electric. He had a plus changeup, a really good breaking ball, and was dominant for pretty much the entire year. Sheldon kind of set himself apart with his mentality. He believed he can beat anybody at any time, any day, rain, sleet, or snow, and I'm a big firm believer that he would do great things at Woolford College with that kind of mentality. He's a great kid to coach, and he was also an excellent student, got above a 3.5 GPA at his time with Edmonds, and was also first team North pitcher, and also ABCA All-American. It's an honor to accept this award on Sheldon's behalf. I cannot say enough good things about Sheldon. We have a big picture in our indoor with Sheldon's name on it, and I will remember him for the rest of my coaching career. He's a great kid, great human being, and exemplifies what it means to be a junior college baseball player. Sheldon Egger.
Huge thank you to Snohomish County Sports Commission for this prestigious honor. I'd like to thank my family, teammates, coaches, and Edmonds College for all the support along the way. Go Tritons!
We'll move on. Our keynote speaker this evening is a graduate of Cascade High School in Notre Dame, and owner of Coast Property Management here in Everett, heavily involved in professional and amateur sports in Snohomish County. Please welcome Tom Hoban.
Thanks, Thomas. Thank you. I'm having a blast. This is my first one of these Hall of Fame things, and I was pretty excited when Greg called to invite me. He said, hey, I want you to come be the keynote at the Snohomish County Hall of Fame dinner. I thought, well, they finally heard about my Cascade High School second base career where I got about a 280 batting average. No. Played a lot of intramural tackle football at Notre Dame. No, that wasn't it. I did win a mechanical bull contest at spring break in Daytona Beach, 1981. Hall of Fame moment for 200 hammered co-eds there in the beach. But no, that wasn't it. He just wanted me to talk about business, which I'll do in a moment. Really, my job here is just to describe the intersection of sports and the business community a bit, and then maybe inspire some of us who are athletes or involved with athletes who find their way into business to see their virtues in there, and then maybe some duties also as we roll back through business into sports. Now, the athletic I'm not even the best athlete in my family. My wife is a state champion cross country, Everett High School, 1983. Go Seagulls! My son Phil is here tonight. He was a great player, a basketball player at Archbishop Murphy, and the other two were born much better at sports than me. But sports has been important to me. When I was at Notre Dame my freshman year, a random room assignment problem dropped me into an athlete's dorm, mostly juniors and seniors. At the time, it wasn't safe to live in town, and we didn't have a Greek system, so I walked in. So picture this, a kid I haven't been east of Spokane or south of Portland, oldest in my family. We didn't do these college visits like they do now. It's 100 degrees, 100% humidity, and the whole dorm is just full of naked guys walking around going to the showers. It was like a locker room. So I'm sitting on the end of my bed, and I'm crying. And I'm like, I'm missing my mom, and what the hell have I done? And this big dude just stops right in front of my bedroom door there, and he turns, and his head's so tall I can't see him. And he's got a towel in this hand and a shaving kit in this one, buck naked. He is shredded. Like, I grew up around here. I saw some athletes, but I had never seen anything like this. 6'9", put together. The whole package was put together. And then he leads his head in, he says, right then I'm like, oh, this is how hazing works around here. He says, hey, freshmen, y'all got any MF and matches? I said, no. You got any shampoo? I do. So I tossed Orlando Woolridge, the only bottle of shampoo I had, and he thought that was pretty cool. He says, hey, some of the fellas and I on the basketball team have a little pickup game in the back court at Rockney Memorial Gymnasium on Saturdays at 10 o'clock. We need a 10th. Are you in? I'm like, yeah, they don't know my crappy high school resume. I'll give it a shot. And I bawled out. And I got invited, when everybody else was out getting tailgate ripped, every Saturday for the first 3 months at Notre Dame, I'm playing ball with the varsity guys and holding my own. Now that was a Hall of Fame moment for me. There's plenty of intersections of sports and business, of course. I brought at my table my wife and son Phil, some other business leaders whose shoulders I stand on, and a lot of others that I've seen here tonight. But I'll just kind of state some of the obvious ones, and then I'll transition into maybe I'll call us all out a little bit, and some less obvious ones. Well, of course, there's jargon. We can't get through a day in business without using sports analogies. Get into the end zone, the end around, all the stuff that I use them all the time. I had a sales guy who was really struggling to get on the horse and make some cold calls. And if you're in sales and you're not making cold calls, you're not making a living. So we had to get over this hump. And somehow I remembered that he played high school basketball. And I finally got his attention when I said, hey, dude, at some point you're going to have to learn how to dribble with your left hand. And you know what? It worked. He realized that his left hand was his cold calling obstacle, and he got through it. Well, ownership, we've had the privilege, my younger brother's my business partner, and I'm nowhere without him, but we've had the privilege together to be owners of the Aqua Sox for a brief time, 2003-ish to 7. You might not remember it because we structured it with some celebrities in the room with us so that we could draw attention to them and maybe bring some value. So if you were at Aqua Sox games from 2003 to 2007, and Jay Buhner was hanging around, you can thank us for bringing him to town. Jay was awesome. I remember when the majority owner came to town once, and he wanted to kind of hang around Jay Buhner. He'd be a cool guy. And he said, where's Jay? I said, well, he's over here, man, where he's supposed to be, playing wiffle ball with kids till the 7th inning. Jay loved the Aqua Sox. He loved Everett because he rehabbed here, I think, once or twice in his career, and he couldn't get enough of it. He was so upset when the majority partner sold it. The good news is that he sold it to the right people. This Volpe group we've got are fantastic, really committed to the community. So there's ownership, and we've been privileged to be involved in that and invest in some other sports franchises. There's a Leeds United English soccer team we're involved in now. And Tiger and Rory just started a golf league that we got involved in called TGL that you'll start hearing about. Most of the public and private investment, that you look at all the big buildings at the hospitals, but lots of stadiums and that sort of thing, the private investment often comes from the business community. We know about that. I think I'm here in part to encourage business leaders to get more involved on boards and commissions in sports. I'm leaving shortly after this, in fact, to go to Jared Stahl's alma mater, where I sit on the board at the University of Portland. I chair the athletics committee. Let me tell you, chairing athletics committees right now in college isn't something you want to do. But we can bring some value to those environments. And then, of course, the obvious is the recruiting of talent. For a bunch of reasons, people who have backgrounds in sports do well in business. So it would be a mistake not to forget the point of it all. Sports is about this, unity and connectivity. Being the dad at high school basketball games when Phil was playing, that was a blast. There's joy in all this. We can't forget that. It's great to have the wins, but outfits like the Hall of Fame, we do such a good job of lifting up all the virtues of these athletes. We cannot forget that this is about joy and unity. All right, so a couple quick tips for you sports enthusiasts when you're engaging the business community to come your way and help out. We are pragmatists. We are pragmatists. And you want to know why? Because we can't make mistakes very often or we go out of business, right? So we are the ones in the room. If your organization needs this, think about us. We're asking, that seems like a good idea. I wonder how that will work. I wonder how that will work. I wonder how that will work. We're very strategic in our thinking. We all look busy, but one of the best at recruiting business people into his boards and organizations is Bill Zakalis with the Boys and Girls Club. I served on his board for 3 years as his president. No one does a better job of finding the passion inside the business person and pulling them in. Some of the people at my table tonight have been playing basketball with me on Fridays at the North Everett Boys and Girls Club for 20-something years. Bill figured out he had an empty gym. Let me get a bunch of business people in there. They could play a little pickup sports, and he recruited most of his board right out of that basketball court. We have other skills too. When Kivari Russell finished up at Notre Dame, he reached out to me and said, "You're a business guy." "Yeah." "You went to Notre Dame?" "Yeah." "Would you do me a favor? I don't know how to pick an agent." So I borrowed what we often use when we're selecting vendors in business, the RFP process, the request for proposals. We put together a standard list of questions. We sent it out to all the agents calling on them. And that was probably now 8-10 years ago. And the top 3 flew right into Everett, sat in my office with me and Kivari and his family, and we picked the winner. But that RFP process was particularly helpful. All 3 of those agents said that was the best process they'd been through to work with a family to select a client. All right, so a couple tips for the business leaders, and I'll wrap on just a little up note. We have to see that bigger picture. We have to see, when we get involved with sports enthusiasts and sports organizations, we have to see the connectivity and the unity piece. We have to understand, too, not everything is a return on investment. Emotion does matter. These kind of events do matter. We have to find the emotion, and we have to leverage that. We are often asked for money, but we have time, talent, and treasure to offer. Sometimes when I'm asked to support an organization, I can do something financially, but what they don't know is my network could do more. That's our job. They don't know your network. If we're in business and we're being asked to lean in, that's our job. Bring in our talent, bring in our networks, bring in some extra help that way. And then I think this idea of forcing accountability that comes from that pragmatism is particularly important. I think what that means to sports organizations is we're thinking about the customer a lot. We want to make sure the experience for everybody that we call a customer is top-notch. Here's a couple less obvious ones that we've been blessed to be involved in. There's mentorship. When athletes transition into business, they usually have a really good basic sense of things with one problem. There's no referees. And they need a lot of help getting through. You know, nobody's going to help them self-correct their mistakes quickly. They'll sometimes get a little off track. It's our job as business leaders to know that and help guide them through their first part of the transition. One of the best programs to do this is Coach Peterson, former Coach Peterson's UW Built for Life program. Anybody wants to get involved with that or try to duplicate something like that for us up here, I'm all ears. What he's done with those young men down there in the football program, now promulgating out throughout that athletics department, is fantastic stuff. Really good stuff. All right, money management. Some of them will make money. Kivari was one, but we've been involved with Cliff Averill and all kinds of other athletes have made money, and they start transitioning into business, and they don't know how to invest it. And there are wonderful people that do money management, but there's this whole other section called venture capital and private equity that I had to learn about myself, that we can teach them, that helps them shape their portfolios and build a sustaining wealth that they don't lose. That's critically important. But I would say to we business people, We have to keep playing. Whatever your sport. I'm on 2 artificial hips. I'm still chasing 40-year-olds around with these guys. I'll play golf when it's all. Gotta keep playing or you lose the joy. The joy. Sports is joy. Sports is unity. Sports is connectivity. All right, so I was trying to think about how to pull that all together, and I got permission from Phil to read just a segment of an essay he wrote when he was applying to colleges, coming out of a basketball career that was pretty good. He had some small college offers. He was really trying to think about how to pull all this together. So I'll read that and wrap up, Greg. I think this will mean something. I parked my car in front of the gym. I had done this countless times before at out-of-town tournaments, and I thought I knew what to expect, but this day was different. As I grabbed my bag and ball out of the trunk and approached the gym door, I felt their eyes staring me down, sending me an unwelcoming message to this outsider who was coming into their world, their neighborhood. The deep bass from hip-hop music thumped in the air. Baggy pants were the attire of choice. Smoke hung everywhere. This was clearly not my home court, and I felt alone. I had no idea why my coach sent me here. As I walked further in the gym, I heard the familiar sounds of squeaking sneakers, the pounding of the ball, the screech of the referee's whistles. I made my way toward the bench with a ball under my arm and soon realized that not a single person in this gym or in the parking lot looked like me. I was the only guest player invited to join in this inner city team that day. I knew my skills must have been strong enough for my coach to put me there, but I questioned whether I would fit in and be accepted. The game tipped off, and I pushed all hesitation aside and just began to play. We played hard that day, and I had the bruises to prove it. To be honest, I don't remember how many games we won or lost. What I do recall what was happening as the day wore on. These new teammates who started the day looking at me as an outsider began to realize there was more to me and more that we had in common than there were differences. Thank God for that Luke Ridenour 12-foot running floater that Coach taught me. That's the coach right there, by the way. We began to understand and respect each other and ultimately care about each other. This crowd who gave me the cold shoulder was now cheering for me by the end of the day. I never played on that team again. I see those guys in various gyms and tournaments around the region since then, and when we meet, it's always a handshake, a hug, a genuine concern for each other. While my coach was helping me build character and skills, he was teaching me something else: love and gratitude. Love for the game, but also gratitude for all it takes for me to be there. Coaches, fans, taxpayers, janitors, the league administrators, referees, scorers, all of it. But something else happened too. For a few hours on a Saturday, we were all connected. We were all united. Thank you.
Before we start the induction ceremony, you have 60 seconds. Stand up and stretch. This may be your only chance. We're not going to do the YMCA. You have 30 seconds. Okay, here we go. If you have your seat, we'll get underway with the induction ceremony. We start with Frank Foster, our sports contributor. Frank has an enduring legacy as a sports contributor and educator, not only as the chair of the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame from its inception, but as athlete, teacher, coach, and administrator. From Cascade High School to Western Washington State College to Seattle Pacific University, he spent his entire teaching and coaching career in the Mukilteo School District as a physical education, health, social studies, and leadership teacher at Rose Hill School in Mukilteo, Olympic View Junior High School, and Mariner High School, later the vice principal and athletic director at Kamiak. Frank also left a mark on community events, especially as event manager for the Seattle Bowl, plus he even roamed the football sidelines working with our crew on the radio. Please welcome the newest member of the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame, Frank Foster.
Good evening. I have to do a quick check, see if I can see it better with my eyes or with my glasses. So, oh, I can see it better with my eyes. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for selecting me as a member of the class of 2024. I am truly humbled. I would also like to recognize my wife, Sue, and my sons, Jeff, Joe, and Chris, and my daughters-in-law, Kupala, Atcha, and Nicola, and our 8 grandchildren, 4 of whom are here tonight, for their love and enthusiastic support when they learned of my induction. I am thrilled to have other family members, friends, former players, and former students in attendance. Thank you so much for coming. I'd also like to congratulate the other members of the class of 2024. You are an amazing group, and it is an honor to be inducted with you. I have been asked how I wound up spearheading the creation of the Hall of Fame. As Tom indicated, after 30 years in education as a teacher, coach, and administrator, I retired. Well, I soon discovered that sitting on the front porch rocking in a rocking chair was not going to be my final ways in this good old earth. I read an advertisement for a new NCAA football game to be held in Seattle. After a year of volunteering, I was hired as the event manager for the game featuring Oregon and Wake Forest. It was exciting to be part of the College Bowl game. Unfortunately, the game was not renewed. This was followed by a meeting with Barbara Hedges, the former UW athletic director, to discuss employment opportunities in the athletic department at the University of Washington. She did not have anything, but asked if I would be interested in working as a volunteer on their new Hall of Fame. As I worked on the project, it dawned on me that Snohomish County had just as many outstanding individuals and teams, and they should be recognized, and a Hall of Fame needed to be established. Fast forward a couple of months, and after a racquetball game with former Herald sports writer Kirby Arnold, I asked him why Snohomish County did not have a sports Hall of Fame. He did not know, but his support led to a story that was the project of the Herald, and soon the work began. Initially, there were not a lot of volunteers signing up. Fortunately for me, I met Rich Haldy. He enthusiastically offered his assistance. We traveled the county promoting the vision and seeking financial contributions. Our mantra could have been, have thumb drive, we'll travel. Whenever and wherever we could, we made a presentation. The next task was the recruitment of volunteers from across the county, including Sports Commission staff, to begin the challenging work of preparing for the inaugural banquet and induction. I cannot thank the present and former committee members enough for the hours they gave planning, organizing, and fundraising. Andrew Carnegie wrote, "Teamwork is the ability to work together toward a common vision. The ability to direct individual accomplishments toward organizational objectives. It is the fuel that allows common people to attain uncommon results." Well, he must have known the Hall of Fame committee that their work did indeed achieve amazing results. I am pleased to say that this event has become the, and I want to underscore the word the, sports banquet for Snohomish County. The Hall of Fame provides insights into the incredible athletes, coaches, teams, and sports contributors who have gone above and beyond in athletics. I am so proud to be a member of the induction class of 2024 and thrilled beyond words to join the legends of Snohomish County in the Hall of Fame. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And now let's talk about the athletes. They called him the Torpedo. Everett High's Peter T. Lee clinched his first state swimming title as a sophomore in 1939, setting the 50-yard freestyle state record in 1940, holding it for more than a decade. He never lost an individual race during his high school career. Peter then swam at the University of Washington. Well, he started at UW, a little thing called World War II, and the attack on Pearl Harbor interrupted his collegiate career. After teaching sailors how to swim, he was discharged in 1946 and returned to UW. Despite 6 years away from competitive swimming, he achieved once again All-American status. He returned to Everett High School as a teacher and coach. His teams won multiple state championships and led to recognition from the Washington State Coaches Association and induction into the Everett High School Coaches Hall of Fame. The newest member of the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame is Peter T. Lee. And here are his grandsons, Jamie and Stephen.
Hi, I'm Stephen Lee. I'm Pete's oldest grandson, and this is Jamie, his youngest grandson. I'd like to offer a sincere thank you to all the people who've made this year's event happen, in addition to everyone who was instrumental in getting the Snohomish County Sports Commission up and going, like my former vice principal, Mr. Foster. Our grandpa died 24 years ago, but if he were here tonight, I'm sure he would be thrilled. I'm sure he would thank his dad, Earl Lee, who was the Everett YMCA director a century ago and who would take baby Pete and lower him in a very unsafe harness into the water, and he would learn swimming the hard way. I suspect my grandpa also might remind us, as he did with me, that his record in the 50 free would have lasted more than 10 years if it weren't for the new lane ropes, headgear, and swimsuits. You can see that mop of hair there that he had. And special thanks should also go out to those who advocated for his nomination, including Herb Knudsen, Doug Bell, and Larry O'Donnell. Jamie, you have some stories.
Thank you, Steve. So like Steve said, I'm Jamie Lee. I'm Pete's grandson. I'd like to congratulate the 2024 inductees and thank you to the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame for inducting my grandfather. This is a very special moment for our family. My grandfather had advanced Parkinson's disease by the time I can remember spending time with him as a child. Because of the Hall of Fame process, I've been able to reach out to some of his former students and athletes and learn more about the man that he was. It turns out that everybody loved him, and he was revered by his contemporaries. He was a gentle giant, kind and passionate about swimming and teaching at Everett High School and Jackson Elementary. But he was also fiercely competitive. One former student I spoke to reflected on his dodgeball experience in PE. The man had no mercy, and he would knock you off your feet. Girls too. Grandpa strongly disliked students smoking outside his classroom. Stopping class, he would yell out the window, "Hey, put out that doogie, pal." Pete was incredibly humble, and he would be honored by this induction ceremony, but he would probably tell you that somebody else deserved it more than him. Thank you again to all who made this event possible.
Well, this is the kind of story that becomes a movie. Jeff Reese's football journey went from Cascade High School, where he went unnoticed by college scouts, so he decided to head to Pullman and then walk on to the freshman football team. After transforming his body for a new position, he started for the first time as a sophomore in 1972 and never looked back. He helped the Cougars to a 7-3 record his sophomore year, earned all conference honors his junior and senior season, and clinched All-American honors from Time Magazine and the Walter Camp Foundation in his senior year. In 1975, he was drafted by the Los Angeles Rams in the 3rd round with the 61st overall pick of the NFL draft. Reese stayed in the NFL for 4 seasons, spending time with the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Colts. Pretty good for a guy that got no collegiate offers out of high school. Now, here is Jeff Reese, a member of the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, thank you very much. I want to thank the Snohomish County Sports Commission, first of all, for this honor. And in particular, I want to really thank Bill Nodgeman. He's the one that took the time to nominate me, so I appreciate it a lot, Bill. Thanks much. You know, I grew up in Everett, South Everett. My family was really everything to me. I had 3 older brothers that all played sports at Cascade High School. My oldest brother's here. Also, he was 4.5 years older than I am, and I really couldn't have had a better big brother growing up. He's not so much my big brother, but he's definitely my oldest brother. And from that, when I went to college, I met my wife, and she'll be the first one to tell me that I'm extremely blessed to have her as my wife. But, you know, I think back, and football is a group sport. It's a team sport, and there was a lot of people in my life, other players, friends, coaches, teachers that had a lot of effect on what happened to me. And probably the one coach that did more to change the direction was Coach Pinky Erickson. Coach Erickson actually started off, he coached my brothers at Cascade High School, then he left and went to Washington State with Jim Sweeney and was the freshman head coach. And Coach Erickson came over and recruited me. He came in and he says, we can't offer you any money, but if you come out and make it through, if things go well, we'll give you a scholarship. So I thought about that, and there was 2 reasons I went to Washington State. One, it was the only school that offered me the chance to play football, and the other was to get out of the rain. And so I went over there, and I remember running out for the first practice, and I was a tight end in high school. And I ran out there, and Coach Erickson says, come here, Reese. I went, so, yes, Coach. He goes, go over and snap the ball to the quarterbacks. And I looked at him, and I says, I'm a tight end, Coach. And he says, no more. And so from there, the freshman, redshirt, and then as a sophomore, I started in the Pac-8. I was 6'4", 235 pounds. Nobody was afraid of me. You know, when you're that size, I spent the first year keeping my head as low as I could, because if it got up too high, they would knock it off. And fortunately, I grew a little bit bigger, got a little stronger, and things went on. But it was Coach Erickson that made that choice, and I always wondered why he did that, or what made him do that. And I think it's because he tried it once before and it worked. And I want to go back to when he was the coach at Cascade High School, because there was a year when he was looking for a center. And he looked around and he went to some tight ends, and there was a tight end there that was 6 foot, 245 pounds, but he was a wrestler. So he moved him over to the center spot, and it worked out for him. And that center was my older brother, Gary, which I think was the reason that Coach Erickson thought if I was half as tough as my older brother, I might just make it. And it was because of that, things went on, and again, there's so many people to thank, and so many people that were involved in my life, and thank you very much for this award. Much appreciated. Thank you.
A graduate of Edmonds Woodway High School, Ben Somoza was a 3-time varsity letter winner in basketball, 4-year letter winner in soccer. He earned 3 consecutive selections at All-Wesco Soccer Player. Then he took his talents to the University of Washington, where he earned 2 first-team All Pac-10 honors, and a spot on the national amateur team in 1999. He remains in the Husky record book where he ranks 6th all-time in assists. On the professional level, Ben played for 5 years with the Seattle Sounders and the Portland Timbers. Somoza remains involved in the soccer community, serving as the Washington Rush Executive Director since 2009. Please welcome the newest member of the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame, Ben Somoza.
Thank you. Those pictures are something definitely old. I want to thank you all. Thank you to the Snohomish County Sports Commission. Just so incredibly honored to be up here today. Soccer has given me everything, but the credit is not mine alone. It really goes to my family and my coaches. So I need to give a shout out to my family. You were there through it all. Mom, who's standing over there, or sitting over there. You drove me to countless practices and games. You supported me through thick and thin. You were there through everything. My dad, you're my biggest fan. Thank you, Dad. I just wanted to make you proud in all I did. I appreciate everything you did for me. I had an older brother. My older brother, Dan, over here, introduced me to everything. Growing up, we played every sport. We played in the backyard. We pretended to be pro athletes. We won championships, played most amazing catch. We did it all. Ironically, soccer was the only sport Dan didn't play with me, and for a short season, he disowned me when I chose soccer over baseball in 9th grade. It turned out for me, but I thank you for supporting me in everything. Your competition, your friendship, and just who you are as a brother really did amazing things for me. To my wife, Christine, I love you. I wish you were a part of my soccer journey, but I'm so happy you're here now. Now for my coaches. My path was anything but traditional. I started playing select soccer at 13. I joined a B team and eventually got moved up to the first team where Greg Anthony, who was a longshoreman, was my soccer coach at Alamania, believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I was just getting going in soccer, just figuring out how to play the game. Dan Strom grabbed me at ODP and toughened me up. I needed it. My high school was a little rocky. Tony Gilman was an incredible coach for me. I showed up a week late from tryouts my freshman year, and he put me on the varsity team. And when you put someone on the varsity team as a freshman, you really give them a target on their back. And he put a target on my back for years to come. Tony was especially good with me. I had a temper. I was tough in sports, but he really helped guide me to my next level, getting me through the recruiting process. University of Washington was incredible for me. I had a best experience. I found my community. I played for Coach Dean Wurzberger there. Dean made me a player. I had a great bond with him. And once again, I found a coach that believed in me, even when I missed 2 PKs in 1 game. I had the great opportunity of playing for the Timbers and the Sounders. Brian Schmetzer knew how to get the best out of me. At that level, it was sink or swim, and I chose to swim. Dealing with adversity, being competitive, and having self-belief are crucial to making it to the next level, no matter where you're at. But no one gets there alone. I was blessed to have incredible coaches, family, and mentors. To the coaches and mentors here tonight, thank you for the impact you're having on youth and the players in your community. You're planting seeds that change lives. I'm living proof of that. Thank you again for this honor. Incredibly blessed.
Rachel Stoll was a standout athlete at Stanwood High School, lettering in basketball, track, cross country, and golf. In track and field, Rachel was the 2007 3A state champion in the triple jump and decathlon and tied for the state championship in the long jump. In basketball, she set school records as the highest scorer for a game with 35 points. Season and career, she was a 2-time All-Area player. In college at the University of Idaho, she joined the 1,000-point club and was selected to the Western Athletic Conference second team and was a WAC Academic All-Conference team member 3 times. After college, she played professionally for Bunbury Southwest Slammers in Australia. And as of tonight, She is the newest member of the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame. Please welcome Rachel Stoll.
There's so many people I want to thank for today. I want to keep it simple, say thank you to everyone who helped me make accepting this honor possible. I am beyond grateful for their time and investment in me, which brings me to what I want to say tonight. As some of you may know, 6 years ago I married the man of my dreams. Not only is my husband an amazing man, but he's currently ranked 11th overall for the NCAA in their category of shooting percentage for D1 basketball. Easy to say, while I fell in love with the person my husband is, I also know I had something similar to love at first sight when I saw him play basketball for the first time. So when we got married, I was surprised that I felt kind of a hard change to change my last name. And even though it meant everything to me, Jared's wife, there was a little bit of struggle. For 30 years of my life, my identity had been as a Clokey. And one day that changed to Stoll. My mom had played 4 sports in high school and had unbelievable work ethic that I always aspired to be just like her. My dad had been a football and basketball star for WSU. My last name had drawn attention also because of their accomplishments. And it also stood out as a little sister to another amazing athlete, my brother Nathan Clokey. I need to brag about him and say he was dunking with ease in 7th grade and he never made it to 6 foot. Everything my brother did, I wanted to do. And I still remember to this day him telling me, "You cannot be my sister if you're not the best." My brother was my hero, so I wasn't going to let him down. And that's what I did. I became the best because I had to stay his sister. My maiden name, Clokey, is also now tied to the accomplishments for which I'm standing in front of you guys today. Qualifying for state and cross country and track and field, eventually winning a state title and graduating with 11 varsity letters, as well as holding school records in both track and basketball that are still unbroken at Stanwood High School now 17 years later. When playing basketball at University of Idaho and overseas in Australia, no one called me by my first name. They all know me as Clokey. It's Rochelle. Yeah, which is why I went by Clokey most of the time. So what I'm trying to say tonight is I have a lot of pride in what it meant to be a Clokey. However, in preparing for this event, I've had to do a lot of reflecting while experiencing the grind of being a mom to a newborn, a toddler, and a preschooler. During that reflection and realization of how much less time there seems to feel like there isn't a day with 3, it really made me think and appreciate the fact so many people gave me their investment of time and knowledge. I know these individuals cared then, and I appreciated it, but could never understand the sacrifice, time, and effort their families, I appreciated it, but could never have understood the sacrifice and effort they made with their families until I started their journey as a parent. Their hopes and what I would accomplish athletically and their names, as well as actions, are not forgotten by me and possibly mean more to me now. So to my son, Pacey, who is here tonight, I want to say, I look forward to seeing where life takes you and how you make an imprint in the world. I promise to invest in you like my parents did for me. I will do all I can to surround you with people who believe in you, and one day you will get to look back and be grateful they were a part of your journey. I love this new chapter in life that began with a marriage and a name change and then grew to a family of 5. I hope, Pacey, you will one day look back at your last name Stoll with pride, as I do for my maiden name Clokey and our last name Stoll, for it represents more than accomplishments of your parents, but the journey so many of us will support you on as you make a name for yourself. I know I'm incredibly lucky to have my athletic career recognized, and I add along so many other amazing athletes tonight. So thank you again to everyone that made tonight possible, and you're invested in me, and who knows, maybe one day another member of my family will join this honor. So keep the name Stoll in your mind for the future. Thank you.
Rochelle. While competing in volleyball and basketball at Cascade High School, Whitney Hooks found her calling in track and field. She won 4 state titles in shot put and 2 more in the discus, including a record-setting shot put mark of 47.3 that remains on the books. Whitney also won the Oregon-Washington Meet of Champions every year from 2002 to 2006. She was an all-state hitter on Cascade's volleyball team, earned all conference honors in basketball, and oh, by the way, she was also a 2-time high school All-American. After starting her collegiate career at the University of Washington, she redshirted and then transferred to Cal State Northridge, where she made an impact on the track and field team. In 2012, she was inducted into the Cascade High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Tonight, she's a brand new member of the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame. Please welcome Whitney Rayanne Sullivan.
What an honor and a privilege to be before you guys tonight. This is a full circle moment for me. I just want to say thank you to the committee. I came all the way from Texas, and I'm excited to be here. Thank you, JJ, for making it happen. Thank you, Rich and Barbara, for making it happen. I just want to first say thank you to my dad, who's sitting up front, with my grandma who raised me, Stangle, my coach. If y'all don't know Stangle, he's a real one. My incredible husband, Joshua Sullivan, loved me back to life. My sister, my second mom, Carolyn, my cousin, Shannon, and my Aunt Madeline, who are here tonight celebrating this full circle moment with me. One of the things that I would like to speak to, coming back to Washington, it's been a big reflection on my life of where I started and where I'm going. Thank you, Tom, for speaking about athletics and business. Such an encouragement to me. I've noticed while being in Texas that the Lord has pulled me into a position of business and to be a trumpet and a voice to those who have walked through poverty and that are learning how to create wealth, that they would give their children a better life and an opportunity. And so I recently just started a nonprofit called 31 Ventures for the Proverbs 31 wife out of the Bible, who's beautiful and blessed, but most important, her heart reveres the Lord, and she looks forward to serving her community, especially those that are oppressed. I thank you for giving me an opportunity to see who I truly am. That's going to allow me to move forward and continue to build on the impact that the Lord Almighty has given me. I wish you guys the best, and I just want to say Jesus is Lord, and God bless all of you guys, especially all the familiar faces I've seen. If I haven't been able to give you a hug, please see me, as I'd love, love, love to embrace you all as you've embraced me.
You're late. And now our coach inductee. The numbers are stunning. 17 Wesco championships, 14 Northwest District championships for the girls. For the boys, it was 11 Wesco and 9 district titles for the Snohomish cross-country team. His girls' teams clinched 4 Washington State championships in 95, 96, 2002, and 2003. Additionally, as the head girls track coach from 2000 to 2003. Dan led the team to state championships in 2001 and 2002, second place in 2003. Then moving across the valley to Glacier Peak, his girls teams won 5 Washington State championships in, 2010, 12, 13, 15, and 18, plus a bunch of Washington State Cross Country Coach of the Year awards, Northwest Region 8 Cross Country Coach of the Year in 2003 and 2014. In 2022, Dan Parker's contributions were recognized with his induction into the Washington State Track and Field and Cross Country Hall of Fame. And now in 2024, Dan Parker is the newest member of the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame. Dan Parker.
I wrote most of this laying awake in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I don't know how coherent it's going to be. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all the athlete teams and the contributor on their induction. I had a front row seat to some of their athletic accomplishments along the way. I'd also like to thank the committee for considering me as a member of the Snohomish County Hall of Fame, realizing that I wouldn't be standing here without my family, my fellow coaches, and the amazing athletes I've had the privilege to coach and call friends across the years. In a recent interview, I was asked, how do you feel about your induction? My answer was, comfortable, which might seem odd or even immodest to most of you. On the other hand, I've never been known for my modesty. But this is what I mean by that one-word answer. Sports Hall of Fame, as you know, was initiated in 2010. Tracking back from that year to the present, I find I have direct or indirect connections to probably 40 of the individuals or teams, and it isn't a 6 degree of separation situation. Turns out, of course, if you examine it, quite a few of the inductees can, as I can, claim Snohomish, small town Snohomish, as their hometown, which explains some of the connections. I'd like to talk about a few of them. 2011, Keith Gilbertson Sr. was inducted. He was my freshman English teacher. I call him the father of cross country. At SHS, he won 2 boys cross-country state championships in the early 60s before transitioning to football, which we distance runners refer to as the dark side. Coach Gilb lived 1 block from school, and I felt free to consult him regularly on the finer points of coaching. He is one of the few people I've allowed to call me Danny throughout my life. Kurt Marsh was also inducted that year. SHS, UW, NFL football. Coach Gilb used to train him in the summer off season at Snohomish Stadium, where we used to run intervals, speed training with a group. We were training for 5K to marathon races. Kurt once told us he would never do what he saw us doing without getting paid. He later coached my son in select basketball. 2012, Dick Armstrong was inducted. Of course, he's a football legend, Snohomish football legend, and he was my first athletic director. I kept stats on the sidelines for his team for years. He allowed me my 1 football coaching moment. It was against a good Mariner team at Goddard Stadium in the pouring rain. Inexplicably, at halftime in the locker room, he approaches me with a question. Do you think we should keep running the ball? The Panthers are only up 14-7. There are puddles on the field. And if you know Coach Armstrong, he threw the ball maybe 3 or 4 times a game. There was only one answer. I replied, Coach, run the ball. The Panthers did. They won, bringing to a close my brilliant football coaching career, undefeated. Herm Atkins was also inducted that year. Garfield, UW, road racing phenom. I call him Herman the German for no particular reason other than it rhymes. I also call him friend. For years, I hung out at Hoofin' It, his running store in Everett, training and racing with him. 2013, Milena Flores was inducted, SHS Stanford basketball star. I announced all of her basketball games at Snohomish. I once saw her catch a pass in midair at the half-court line, turn and sink a basket without touching the ground. An exquisite talent. Tom Campbell, also that year. E-Dub, Edmund Woodway distance coaching legend I ran with, coached with, and student taught for Tom. He was my mentor, an amazing coach who was willingly shared all he knew about coaching young athletes. My success is also his, without a doubt. 2015, Jack DeCover, SHS basketball 1970 state champion, coach, an amazing coach, and my senior CI teacher. I see Jack right there from time to time. Great coach. And his daughter, Lori DeCover, SHS Western basketball. I announced all her basketball games. First girl I ever saw drain a jump shot. Keith Gilbertson Jr., UW, California, NFL football coach. I remember playing poker at his house when he coached at Western in the early 70s. 2017, SHS, boys basketball team. 1970 state champions. Those are my guys. I knew them all and graduated with half of them. 2018, Tuck Janae, Snohomish teacher and coach. I coached track with him at Snohomish for years, and I taught right across the hall from him. He was a conservative, and I was a liberal. We talked about teaching a history class together, sharing both sides of the argument, but time ran out. I still miss him. 2020, Kim Hammonds, Snohomish High School baseball coach. Several years he played on my YMCA basketball team, pretty damn good for an old guy. That was him, not me. In track, we had to react quick to his team's foul balls coming over the stadium roof like mortars. Heck of a coach. 22, Ernie Goshorn, another Snohomish grad, immensely successful cross-country and track coach at Linwood High and elsewhere. He also shared willingly the knowledge of the sport. 2023, John Brockman, SHS, UW, NBA basketball. I still have his size 17 UW purple basketball shoes I won at an auction. My son, Nate the Great, sitting over there, was a starting guard on his 2002-2003 Snohomish basketball team. And finally, Rick Haldy, Everett Community College. He taught for 2 years at Snohomish Junior High in the 1960s. I would have had him for math, and he would have been my 8th grade basketball coach, but we moved to Texas for that single year. That's my loss. Also, Vicky Foltz, Earl Torgerson, Cliff Gillies, Jim Pearson, Janet Kusler, Jim Piccolo, Tom Lafferty, Dwayne Lewis, Erica Klein, Earl Averill, Jim Olam, Adam Eaton, the 1976 Snohomish football team, and the list continues. In some fashion, I'm connected to them all. So you're asking yourself, what is the point? It's actually twofold. First of all, my induction is simply an ongoing celebration of their accomplishments. Because, two, success has a way of rubbing off. It is contagious. Their influence on me cannot be measured, but it is significant. I know I observed each of these individuals and teams and adopted, borrowed, or stole whatever traits or practices I thought would lead to success for my teams and athletes. I'm unabashed about that. Call me a thief. Going back to the start of my journey, I never actually wanted to be a teacher or a coach. I was the son of a teacher, so I knew firsthand about the low pay and the long hours, if you were as dedicated as my father was. Didn't seem that attractive to me. I had different aspirations and opportunities open to me. I was accepted at several law schools, including the University of Oregon, but that would have condemned me to being a duck for life, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I was also on the waiting list at the graduate cinema schools at UCLA and USC that only accepted about 30, maybe 40 people a year. Laurence Olivier and Linda Evans' sons got in. I didn't. That's Hollywood. By that time, I'd already started a family, and it occurred to me there were way too many lawyers and bad movies, but we can never have enough good teachers. In life, there's a script written for us all. We just never get to read it ahead of time. Those fortunate find their place. I'll find mine. It was exactly what I hadn't wanted, but it turned out to be the best of all possible worlds. In the words of a Bob Dylan song, I can't help it if I'm lucky. I'm lucky to have loving, caring parents who valued hard work and education. I'm lucky to have beautiful, talented, hardworking wife, Chris, who handled all of life's problems that I couldn't or wouldn't, and that was probably most of them. I'm lucky to have 4 amazing children, Aaron, Nate, Savannah, and Shay, who I was blessed to be able to coach in cross country, basketball, track, and life. I'm lucky to have had the same assistant coach and best friend for over 30 years, Ken Horth, who is every bit as responsible for our collective success. Early on, we mastered the bad cop, good cop routine to coaching, and there was never any question who was playing what role. Recognizing other whose efforts contributed to our pursuit of excellence, Bob Mikulich, Lauren Childers, Jeff Palmer, Shay Parker, Nate Parker, Aaron Parker, Tracy Bianchini, Casey Kellogg, and a myriad of parents, too many to name. Last, but certainly not least, I was incredibly lucky to have motivated student athletes who listened, learned, trained, and trusted that we somehow knew what the hell we were doing, even if we weren't totally sure in the beginning. Anyway, it all worked out and the rest is history. Answer to a couple questions. First, why did I stop coaching and teaching? I demanded a lot from my students and athletes. I know that. It got to the point where I felt I couldn't bring the same energy to what I was demanding. It was time to retire. Of course, COVID helped close that door. What is life like today? Sometimes I feel like I'm working harder than ever. Mostly I remodel houses and homes for family and friends. When at home, I do actually relax, entertained by my 2 amazing granddaughters, Nell and May. Chris and I also travel. We've always traveled. I consider spending time in other countries the best education possible. As a history teacher beginning in 1990, every other summer I would guide 50 students and up to 20 adults on a month-long cultural tours of Europe. I brought Tuck Janae on board in 1994. This time I got to be the good cop. Now Chris and I walk. In 3 out of the past 5 summers, we've experienced pilgrimages in Europe, walking 15 to 20 miles a day. We did the Portuguese Camino, which was 25 days. We did a combined Via Podiensis and Camino Francais, France and Spain, 60 days. And last summer, a portion of the Via Francigena, 45 days from Switzerland to Rome. When asked what the key to longevity was, Dick Van Dyke's reply, just keep moving. I intend to do just that. Time and again, finally, time and again, this past year, I've been reminded how fragile and fleeting life can be. So I'm reminding you, nurture and treasure it and all the relationships that come with it. Live life for all it can be. Thank you.
And now the team. And there they are. The 2006 Jackson High School baseball team defined the term a team for the ages. Nationally ranked, undefeated, state 4A championship. Head coach Alan Briggs stepped in just before the season started, and his assistants Frank Bauer, Kirk Nicholson, Steve Nobles, and Tom Allenson led the Wolves to a 27-0 record, culminating in a 4A state championship played at Safeco Field. After placing third the season prior, the Timberwolves were not going to be denied with a 5-3 win over Lake Washington in the opening round, 18-0 over South Kitsap in the quarterfinals, 8-0 over Tahoma in the semis, and culminating with a 7-1 victory over Auburn in the state title game. I could read off all the numbers put up by this outstanding team, but those are printed in your program. Let's meet the 2006 Jackson Timberwolves State Championship baseball team, newest members of the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame. Please welcome Jeffrey Brown. Kavika Emsley Pai. Michael Jeffrey. Rick Kellogg. Riley Lillibridge. Always waiting for the photographer. Joe Markovich. Oh, did I do Joey Lynn? I'm sorry. Joey Lynn. Now Joe Markovich. Cameron Nobles. Danny O. Joey Patosa. Michael Robertson. Mark Shoremayer. Jonathan Wall. Athletic trainer Brenda Black. Now Brenda Black. Team manager Alex Van Coor. One of the coaches, Tom Allenson, accepting on his behalf Brett Allison, his son. Steve Nobles accepting on his behalf Lori Nobles, his wife. The captain of the team, Travis Snyder. Head coach Alan Briggs. And accepting on behalf of Jackson High School is the athletic director Eric Hines.
Well, good evening. It's for us, it's having the team being nominated. It's like a reunion. Back in 2006, these guys were half their age, and we can identify everybody except our manager, Alex, who entered a bodybuilding contest, I think, last week, because he was probably 90 pounds soaking wet back then. So these guys are good-looking guys and super talented in baseball. I thought I'd be talking to them, but I'll talk to you and talk about them. Back in 2006, we met in my portable. I was teaching Spanish, and we met. I thought we were going to be there for about an hour to set goals and things like that. Most of these guys were on the team the year before, 2005, where they'd finished third in state, and they seemed to have a chip on their shoulder about that. And they had two goals. We were done in 5 minutes. It was win the Washington State 4A state championship at Safeco Field, and then to do it going undefeated, which in baseball is really tough to do. Not many teams do that. They started the year 7th in the nation, and they finished number 2 in the nation, according to Baseball America, and they got a lot of attention right away. Lem Elway, coach at Anacortes, coached there 30 years, said about them, this team beat teams unmercifully. Half of our games were only 5 innings, and was one of those teams that's a once-in-a-lifetime team. I was fortunate and blessed to be out there and watch what they did. They had not only amazing what they did on the field, they had a team chemistry that is just really unparalleled to what teams can do at any level, and it was a blessing to watch. And that's why 5 years ago I applied for this honor tonight, because I knew they were worthy of it. And on behalf of the Mill Creek community and all of the Jackson coaching staff, including Kirk Nicholson and Frank Bauer, Tom Allenson, Steve Nobles, and myself, we want to thank the committee for this great honor. I did want to say Travis Snyder's our captain. After we won the state championship at Safeco, he made the comment that it was really special to do this in a park like this, the way we did, and all 1 through 18 guys contributed. And I thought that was a really humbling thing for him to say that. And I want to thank all the Little League coaches, all your Summer League coaches, any parent or grandparent that handed you a ball, a bat, and a glove and taught you the game and helped you refine it, because it made them pretty special, what they did, to be at one school. Not one person was recruited for what they did. And I'm sure we don't have a lot of time. I have 2 memories from the regular season I want to share, and that is the day before the playoffs, these guys all got their shavers out, and they all butt their heads, and they put some in their heads. I don't know if they remember that, but I remember that. It was a good luck thing, I think. We got a letter from a Bainbridge parent. Said, our kid's named Jackson. He's 9 and he's turning 10, and his favorite team in the whole wide world is the Jackson baseball team. So they signed a 1, 2, 3 Safeco shirt and sent it to him for his 10th birthday. There are 2 coaches that couldn't be here tonight. They passed on to the next life too early, and that is Tom Allenson and Steve Nobles. And I wanted to save my memories of what happened at Safeco. For a couple years, the Seattle Mariners put the playoffs, the last 2 games at Safeco Field, and we were privileged to have that experience. And my memory with Tom was he would join me in the coin flip, and the losing team got to pick the dugout. Well, the other teams that were there, they'd pick the Mariners' dugout at first base because that's where the Mariners were. And he said, well, what are we going to do if we lose? And we lost the coin flip. I said, well, let's take third base because all 5 of our other games in the playoffs, we won and we were in the third base dugout. And then these guys don't realize this, but I also like having my wife in the stands in the third base side. I coach better at third base that way. So before the championship game, they couldn't find me. Tom was the one that went down and did the coin toss. He says, we couldn't find you. I went down, I represented you. And I said, okay, how'd it go? He goes, we lost. I said, way to go. I said, and which dugout? Third base. And we were 7-0 in the playoffs in the third base dugout. I know that's superstition, but I know Tom's here in spirit tonight, and I'm grateful to have that experience with him. My last memory is with Steve Nobles. His son, Cam, was one of our outstanding pitchers. In the semifinal game, he was up 8-0. It's the 6th inning, and we just called timeout. We said, go out and talk to your son and just tell him what a fabulous job he's doing. Or I don't know what was said on the mound and why that's important. Probably not important to any of you, but for me, for Safeco, T-Mobile Parks is 25-year history. It's, to me, the only father-son meeting on that mound, and I couldn't think of a greater father-son to have that happen. Cam, love you. So, Kavika Pai, what did he know? I've been around coaching a lot longer than he had. He said at the end of, after we won the title in the newspaper, he said, we were the best team probably that Washington State's seen, and I couldn't agree more. So if you give it up for me to congratulate the 2006 Jackson baseball team as the greatest baseball team in Washington State history.
Thank you, Briggs. You stole just about everything I wanted to cover today, so I'll do my best to go off the fly. We talked about the coaches that couldn't be here. Coach Nick was the face of the Jackson High School baseball program, and he is not with us tonight. He moved to Arizona, reluctantly would not attend. And for me, just wanted to give him a special thanks. I know what he meant to the community of Everett, Snohomish County, Cascade High School, Jackson High School. So I just want to raise a toast to Coach Nick, who couldn't be here. If you got something in your glass, please take a sip in his honor. I want to thank the Snohomish County Sports Commission and Hall of Fame for this prestigious award that we get to celebrate as a unit. I've known most of these guys since 5 years old, some 7, some 10, some 15, playing from the YMCA in Mill Creek now, used to be South Everett, all the way through Mill Creek Little League, the Seattle Stars, as Briggs had mentioned, all the fantastic coaches we had along the way. And then to be able to celebrate that as seniors in high school with so many great underclassmen that stepped up and filled in roles. It truly was a storybook ending to a pretty amazing youth baseball career that we all got to share together. And I'm most proud because the lifelong connection, not only because we went 27-0 in the state championship, but the fact that we all get to see each other here tonight, and most of us get to see each other still today in this community with all of our kids who are going to be going through this. And I'm so proud of what these guys have accomplished in the world of coaching and the impact that they're having on this next generation. I want to thank the parents. I know there are some here. Many of you were second parents to me and many other kids on this team. The sacrifices you guys made were incredible. The support from not only just the parents, but the community, Snohomish County, all the fans that we accrued on our journey to Safeco to win that championship. To have, 5,000 people at Safeco Field there to root us on to win that championship game. I know some of you guys are probably sitting in the room, so thank you for all that support. And really just want to finish by saying how proud I am to be a part of this team. I played for a lot of great teams in my career, and there's very few that I can compare to the buy-in, the sacrifice, the discipline, the commitment from captain's practices, to me, yelling at you guys all the time. I apologize for being kind of an a-hole, but I appreciate the way we all came together, especially when the expectations set in, which every person in this room that's been involved in sports, whether it's an individual or a team, that expectation creates a different level of pressure. And every one of these guys leaned into it. And we said, we're not going to let what was going on with our coaching staff, as great as they were. We had some trials and tribulations early in the season, and thank you to Briggs and Steve and Tom and Coach Nick for weathering the storm that was taking place that a lot of us kids didn't understand, because we were there to win baseball games. And I'm truly honored to be a part of this group. Thank everybody here for showing up tonight and your support. And thank you again to the Snohomish County Hall of Fame for honoring the greatest team in the Washington State history.
So I had the privilege of being at Jackson High School for 25 years and worked with this good man next to me. This is Eric Hines. He is the athletic director and does amazing things for Jackson. And it's our honor and privilege to give to you this plaque, which has our picture from that year, 2006, where nobody was smiling, and all of what happened that year. So we're thrilled to have that hanging somewhere in the hallway, and glad that we can give that to you.
No, I'm not sure what goes next, so whoever knows what goes next. Oh yeah, we're going to go team pictures over in the other room. And I have a special presentation on my list. Is that it? Let's go.
Well, it's me again, but not for very long. My name is Rich Haldy. John Nearing here, my friend. He's on the committee also. There's a special award tonight, a very special award. I'm going to say a little bit about who it's for. It's supposed to be a big surprise. It's not going to take you long to figure it out. So here we go. Now, I heard that somebody had an idea about a Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame. Could there be one? Well, this person was known to be able to make his ideas come true. So some of you probably already know what I'm talking about. So it's not much of a surprise. But anyway, he doesn't know it's coming. So then we also heard that he had a vision. The vision was that there should be a Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame. Now I heard tonight that my thinking about a vision, a should be, was really a needed to be. If you were paying attention, you know who said that. You know who said that, right? So anyway, we do have a Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame. This is the 14th induction banquet. We didn't have one in 2021 because of the pandemic. So, but this has been going on for 15, 16 years. But before that, the person with the idea and the person with the vision started before that, probably 2005. So now there have been 76 athletes inducted, 39 coaches, 14 sports contributors, and 18 teams. So now, if you don't know who this is, I'm going to tell you right now, it's Frank Foster. Frank, if you could please come up here. Now, John John is going to do the recognitions, the awards, and the honors. Here you go, John.
Thank you, Rich. It's my pleasure to do that. And of course, Frank is up here with us now. And Frank has been, Frank in 2012 was recognized and honored as the founding chairman for the Snohomish County Sports Commission and the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame. And tonight we honor him again as the founder of the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame and the chair of the Hall of Fame committee for 16 years. And I also want to say something that the committee decided to do that we want to announce tonight is that we are establishing a new inductee award that will begin next year in 2025. And it will be named in Frank's honor as the Frank Foster Sports Contributor Award. We've got a mock-up of a plaque here. It's not completed because we wanted Frank to have a little say in what it looked like. But Frank, we're awarding you this plaque in recognition of being honored back in 2012 as the founding chairman, and also additionally for your many years of outstanding service and dedicated work to the Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame as committee chairman, and so much more. We'll have a larger plaque placed, maybe Rich, you can hold that one up, a larger plaque placed out here in the hall with the other showcases. And then we'll send one home with Frank that he can have. And I just want to close by saying, Frank, and if you could come up here, and he's already given his speech, so we're not going to let him say too much more, but...
They thank you.
Yeah. But I do want to say in closing, and this is really why we're doing this, is there would not be a Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame without Frank Foster. I think we all know that. And so let's give him one final round of applause. This is yours. We'll have that finalized. And thank you all. I'll turn it back over to Tom, but let's give one final hand to Frank Foster. Thanks, Frank, for everything.
We do want all the inductees to go to the room next door. They want to do one big mass picture, and that's it now. We're done. Let's go home. Thanks for coming out this evening. Please drive carefully. We'll see you next year for the 2025 Snohomish County Sports Hall of Fame Induction Banquet. Good night, everybody.